My name is Brandon Wainright. I will be delivering my monologue today entitled, Trying to Live, I Lost My Life. At birth, I was named Brandon Marlowe Wainright. That's the name my mother used. That's also the name my teachers used in school. On the street, though, my name is Dub, B to the UB, or you can call me Young Black King, but on a serious note. Let me tell you that 90% of the people from my hood are considered failures. And I'm supposed to act like I can't be part of the 10% because of the way you think of me and the choices I've had to make to survive. I have a young mother, young father, brothers and sisters at home, barely food in the fridge or water, depending on if it was on. I'm surrounded by old heads and youngins who will not hesitate to let me know what they think of my honor roll ass if I ain't got no hands, if I can't fight. So, school is kind of a sanctuary for me, if you will. Like, it's like a safe haven. It's like I can be myself. I can be a nerd. I can be a thespian. I can do sports. I can do whatever I want while I'm in school because I'm living my life. And this is how I want to live my life. This is how I want to live my life. But outside of school, I'll put on a whole other mask. I fight, and I fight, and I fight. I am Dub, and me and my gang, we do what we do, from big-time shoplifting to small-time drug dealing. Like I said, in my hood, 90% of the people are considered failures, and they are the people whose approval I need in order to survive. And you might not like the guys I hang out with, but they are the only ones who have my back, and I have their back. And you best believe I will prove that I have their back. I do this, and this is not the life I want to live, but it is the life I have to live. Things become a little harder when I become 16. I stood up for my brother against my father, and for that, I'm out of the house. I'm no longer his mouth to feed. From 16 on, there isn't anyone giving me a roof, clothes, food. I had to go and do that with my gang, and that's why I said I had to live. I had to find a way. And then I was losing my life because at a young age, trying to be an adult, you kind of got to really give that up. You can't really have a life. But still, I stay a star student, honor roll, champ, state champ, athlete, blah, blah, blah. I'm getting it. Against all odds, I kept my cards. I kept my cards. And by my senior year, it is very clear that I am going to be part of that 10% that makes it. Women, money, cars. I'm headed to the NFL, baby. I have a full ride sports scholarship. I'm choosing the offers. I'm even gonna be prom king. So with all this headed my way, did anyone ask me why on January 12th of my senior year, I shoplifted 6 video stores in one night? In one night. Instead of working hard to prove what a terrible criminal I was, did anyone consider I might also have been a young man having a hard time and needing some help? Did anyone sit in a circle with me and say, Brandon Marlowe Wainright, what were you thinking? 6 stores in one night? You must have known you was gonna get caught. For a few $1,000s, you threw away a $100,000 full ride college scholarship. You're going to be part of that 10%. Why, Brandon? No, they didn't ask. They charged me with robbery. They kicked me out of school. They made an example out of me. Nobody acknowledged that I had to be the best at being Brandon Wainright, star athlete, star student, to make that 10% and to thrive. And that I had to be the best at being Dub. To have shelter, food, and survive. They didn't acknowledge that I was locked in a terrible split that put surviving and thriving at war with each other. They acted like Brandon, the high school vice president of the future business leaders of America, was a lie. That I had finally shown my true colors. Black. As if I was by nature essentially a criminal. Nobody in the justice system or the school system cared enough to even ask why I did what I did. Nobody. And, well, you know, it's a long story. Yes, it's a long story. But let me just say, at the moment I made the decision, I was exhausted by the fight. And I didn't even care. You wanna know why I didn't care? Because that night I was hurting and I didn't feel love. You wanna know why I didn't feel love? Because I wasn't getting it from the parents who I thought had made me their son. They didn't come to my games. They didn't care I was on the honor roll, that I was even going to college, that I had a scholarship. They didn't even have to pay for it. Why wasn't I getting that love? Because I was living on my own at 16, you know, away from the only home I had known, and because my parents were young. They hadn't grown up with much love. They were busy fighting poverty, fighting racism, fighting their own ignorance, fighting to survive themselves. And tired of fighting with me and struggling with how to raise a young black son in a place where the streets have so much power and a parent has so little. Or you could just knock it down to the fact that where I was raised, either you're born with it or you're born without it. No matter what you apply that to. And I thought I'd rather be caught with it than be caught without it. I'd rather die on my feet than live on my knees. I needed money to live. For food, shelter, clothes on my back, and maybe to graduate, you know, looking a little nice in the prom king suit I was gonna buy with some of that cash. Yeah, it's a long story that you slam into one righteous move of your gavel, and you would actually have to care about me to understand. Instead of any help and support dealing with the challenges I faced, I got a lifelong I have gotten a lifelong label as a criminal and more obstacles to overcome. I was already tired and the fight just got harder. But I'm not giving up. I have two beautiful daughters, London and Anina. I have a handsome son whose birthday happens to be today. He's turning 2 years old. 2 years old today. His name is Nasir. His name means helper, or one who gives victory. So everything that I do from this point on is for my kids and for my family. So they will never go through what I went through, because I'm always going to be here for them, always. Whether physically or spiritually, I'm always going to be here. Thank you.